तो ये जो चैप्टर है दोनों का कॉमन चैप्टर है, ठीक है। फार्मास्यूटिक्स में भी ये चैप्टर आपको आता है और आपका फार्मास्यूटिक्स में तो आता है और माइक्रोबायोलॉजी में भी सेम चैप्टर है, इसलिए अपन कंबाइन में लेंगे वो, मतलब सेम ही है, सेम एवरीथिंग इज सेम। सो जस्ट नोन एज स्टरलाइजेशन चैप्टर जो है इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर, ठीक है। ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर है, मैं बोलता हूँ आपको, इसमें की क्वेश्चन आते ही आते हैं, ठीक। तो देख लेते हैं। सो स्टरलाइजेशन, व्हाट इज मीन बाय स्टरलाइजेशन? Actually, the process of removal or killing of all viable form of microorganisms, whether vegetative form or spores. What is mean by sterilization? Sterilization means removal, or killing of all viable forms of organism, whether it is present as a vegetative form or spores. मतलब जिंदा ऑर्गेनिज्म और उसके स्पोर्स भी, उसको रिमूव करने का जो प्रोसेस है उसको स्टरलाइजेशन बोलेंगे, ठीक है। तो ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर है आपका। नाउ व्हाट डू मीन बाय एसेप्टिक टेक्निक क्या होता है? सो इट इज अ टेक्निक और प्रोसेस इन विच ऑल पॉसिबल कंटेमिनेशन ऑफ माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म कैन बी prevented to enter into your product being processed. Means aseptic technique is the technique to prevent the contamination of microorganism to getting entered into your product which is being processed. So that is nothing but the aseptic technique. So there are few definitions we'll see that. Now first one, what is my mean by disinfection? Okay, there are two terms, disinfectant and antiseptic. So I am going to explain these two terms. First, disinfection. What do you mean by disinfection? The destruction or killing or removal of all pathogenic microorganisms which are capable of giving rise to infection. That is nothing but the disinfection, the process of disinfection. What is meant by disinfectant? A disinfectant is nothing but the chemical substance which is safely applied on the skin or mucous membrane used to prevent the growth of microorganism is known as, okay. So there are two terms, disinfectant and antiseptics. Both are the same, the difference is only one. So disinfectant is applied on the मटेरियल, इनएनिमेट एनिमल, मतलब जो भी मटेरियल होता है, यूटेंसिल्स होते हैं, जैसे आपका डेस्क हो गया, टेबल हो गया, या फिर कोई एपरेटस हो गया. सो डिसइंफेक्टेंट आर अप्लाइड टू इनएनिमेट मटेरियल. एंटीसेप्टिक्स आर नथिंग बट अगेन सेम chemical agent used to prevent the microbial growth or used to kill the microbes. But antiseptics are applied on the skin and mucous membrane of humans, and disinfectants they are applied on the inanimate animals. मतलब जो भी मटेरियल होता है आपका, डिस्क होता है या फिर टेबल होता है, या फिर उसको डिसइंफेक्टेंट करना है आपको, उसके लिए डिसइंफेक्शन टर्म होता है. एंटीसेप्टिक मीन्स अगेन द सेम, but only antiseptics are applied on the humans, okay, human skin or mucous membrane. But disinfectant they are applied on the material, utensils. Remember that. Next one is different method for sterilization. Okay, so we are taking in a short. So first one is a physical method. Sterilization means what? It is a process to remove or kill all forms of viable organisms, including spores. स्पोर्स क्या होते हैं मैंने बोला आपको. So methods for sterilization. First one is a physical method. For example, using your sunlight and drying. That is a physical method. In that also again there is a dry heat. So in case of dry heat, you can use dry heat as a for removing the microorganism. For example, flaming, incineration, and hot air. Flaming. This has you have done this act of flaming. In case of microbiology, there is one loop known as inoculating loop. आपने देखा होगा, प्रैक्टिकल किया होगा, मुझे मालूम नहीं, हमने किया. जो इनोकुलेटिंग लूप होता है, जब आपको इनोकुलेशन करना है, मतलब आइसोलेशन करना है माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म का इन द पेट्री प्लेट, इनोकुलेट करना है, तब उसको पहले क्या करना पड़ता है, उसको पहले स्टरलाइज करना पड़ता है. जो आपका बर्नर होता है, बर्नर का फ्लेम होता है, उसमें से उसको सिर्फ जस्ट पास करना पड़ता है. तो इनोकुलेटिंग लूप होता है, दैट इज नथिंग बट द फ्लेमिंग. देन इंसिनरेशन मीन्स जलाना, पूरी तरीके से जला देना, इंसिनरेशन. देन हॉट एयर, Okay, so they are involved in the dry heat of sterilization. Next one is a moist heat. So this includes pasteurization, boiling, steam under normal pressure or steam under high pressure. So pasteurization is related with the milk, boiling, steam under normal pressure or steam under high pressure. It includes in the moist heat. Now filtration, so you have to use filter candles, asbestos filters, membrane filters, they all are the bacteria proof filters. These filters are the bacteria proof filters. They are used for the sterilization by filtration. Sterilization by filtration. Moist इसमें ही आता है, dry heat में आता है. Now next one is radiation sterilization. For example, various kind of rays, UV rays, non-ionizing and ionizing radiations, ultrasonic waves, then sonic vibrations. So these are used as a mean of the sterilization. That's why they are comes under the radiations. Next one is a chemical methods. Okay, so these dry heat, moist heat, filtration, radiation, all these methods were of physical methods. Now chemical methods. So chemical methods, in this method you have to use different chemicals or disinfectants. Okay, so for example alcohols like ethyl alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, trichlorobutanol. Then aldehydes like formaldehyde and glutaraldehyde. Formaldehyde and glutaraldehyde. Next one is a surface active agent or surfactant. For example, phenol, surface active agent, different like cetrimide, benzalkonium chloride. So these are the surface active agents. यहाँ पे एग्जांपल नहीं दिया है लेकिन मैं बोलता हूँ surface active agent like benzalkonium chloride, surfactant. So these are the surface active agent which are the chemical method for sterilization. The next one is a phenol, then different dyes. Gaseous sterilization, for example, use of ethylene oxide, formaldehyde, then beta propanolactone. So these are the nothing but the gaseous sterilization. So it is just a classification of your sterilization. The next one is the term sterility. What is meant by sterility? So nothing, it is nothing but the total absence of any form of microorganism. Your material is absent. Your if your product is absent of any is absence from any form of microbial organism, then we can call it as a sterile product. So sterility is nothing but the absence of any form of microorganism. Now there are two terms, antiseptic and disinfectant, as you can see. So what is meant by antiseptic? The chemical agent capable of killing the microorganism and applied it on the body. That is called as antiseptic. For example, your povidone iodine solution. Okay? Povidone iodine solution. So it is applied on the body to prevent or to kill the microorganism. So it is an antiseptic. And disinfectant is a chemical agent or which kills the microorganism, and it is not applied on the body. It is applied on the inanimate object like floor, tables, then utensils, etc. Okay, there are two terms related to sterility. The decimal reduction time, it is very important. The D value, the decimal reduction time. I am just taking important things from the sterilization. Okay, decimal reduction times, it is nothing but the D value or decimal reduction time is nothing but the, it is a time of it is time of disinfectant. It is a time of disinfectant required to reduce the population of microorganism by 90% or one decimal. One decimal of 90% of one logarithm. Thermal reduction time is the time required to kill the 90% population of microorganism is nothing but the thermal, or it is known as the decimal reduction time. And thermal reduction time means the time required to reduce the to kill the microorganism at a specific temperature. That is known as thermal death. ये thermal reduction time क्या होता है? Time required for time time of disinfectant required to reduce the 90% of microorganism in a one decimal or one decimal. Next one is thermal destruction time or Z value. So thermal destruction time is known as Z value, and the decimal reduction time is known as a D value. D for decimal and thermal for Z value. ऐसे याद रखो आप. So thermal destruction time of disinfectant. What is it? The degrees of temperature. The degree of temperature required to reduce one log of D value. Tenfold change in the D value. ये जो D value है क्या है? It is a time required by disinfectant to reduce the 90% of population of microorganism. ठीक है? ये time में tenfold change in the D value is nothing but the Z value. इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आता है कभी। तो थर्मल डिस्ट्रक्शन टाइम इज नथिंग बट the degree of temperature required to reduce the 1 log of D value, that is 10-fold change in the D value. Different method for sterilization, it is very important, you have to focus it on, you have to focus on it. Okay, so dry heat sterilization, moist heat sterilization, Tyndalization, then gaseous sterilization, then radiation sterilization. There are different kind of sterilization, we will see one by one. So first one is a method dry heat sterilization. So what you have to use, you have to use dry heat. Okay, so 180 degrees Celsius for 2 hours or 260 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. So you have to use this temperature condition. What is the mechanism for dry heat? There will be oxidative damage and denaturation of bacterial protein. Oxidative damage is the main mechanism for dry heat, remember. So oxidative damage and okay, oxidative damage of ये main mechanism है dry heat का. Moist heat का, now dry heat is used for glasswares and other metal instrument, powders, oily injections. Now moist heat, so you have to use temperature in a range of 115 to 117 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Okay, in the autoclave you use 121 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. The pressure is 15 pound. The denaturation and coagulation of bacterial protein. So main mechanism for dry heat is the oxidative damage and denaturation of bacterial protein. But in case of moist heat, there is a coagulation of bacterial, mostly coagulation of bacterial protein and then denaturation. But dry heat में क्या होता है, denaturation होता है maximum, oxidative damage and denaturation. यहाँ पे coagulation होगा. So moist heat is used for IV fluids, rubber, plastic and containers. Rubber and plastic containers. Now next one is the Tyndalization. Tyndalization is also known as fractional sterilization. Remember fractional sterilization. Tyndalization is known as fractional sterilization. इसमें क्या होता है कि heating of the medium at 80 degree Celsius for 1 hour. 80 degree Celsius पे एक 1 hour के लिए हीट करेंगे और 100 degree Celsius for 20 minutes for successive 3 days. Tyndalization, इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आया था. Heating of medium at 100 degree Celsius for 20 minutes successive 3 days, मतलब 3 दिन तक डेली उसको 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस को 20 मिनट तक हीट करना है, उसको बोलते हैं टिंटलाइजेशन और फ्रैक्शनल स्टरलाइजेशन. नाउ इट इज यूज्ड फॉर सर्जिकल ड्रेसिंग एंड कल्चर मीडिया. विल सी द नेक्स्ट वन इज अ pasteurization. So pasteurization, it was developed by Louis Pasteur and he was the method was employed for the sterilization of milk, that is known as a pasteurization. We used to do daily in your house also. So sterilization of milk by pasteurization. So it has a different method. It has a different methods depending upon the holding time, holding temperature. So first 62.8 और 63 डिग्री सेल्सियस. अगर मिल्क को 63 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे हीट करेंगे 30 मिनट्स के लिए, that is known as a holder method. There are three methods in the pasteurization. Holder method is a 62.8 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Next one is a 71 to 72 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. That is known as a flash method. That is a flash method. Third one is a 140 degrees Celsius for 1 second. That is used for sterilization of milk, popularly known as a pasteurization of milk. Then next one is the radiation sterilization. Radiation sterilization में क्या होगा, यहाँ पे radiation यूज करेंगे, UV, IR, UV radiation, IR radiation, ionizing radiation, okay, gamma rays वगैरह. Here UV mercury lamp is used, so it will emit around 253 nanometer. So UV light will damage the nucleoprotein of microorganism and microorganism will die. Okay, after exposure to UV light. UV chambers use करते हैं उसके लिए. Okay? So UV light, it is used for thermolabile substances, maintaining the aseptic technique. Also used in the hospital. UV chambers are available. Okay. Now ionizing radiations. Ionizing radiations का आप use करते हैं. So their mechanism is denaturation and damage to the DNA, enzymes and other component of micro. So ionizing radiation जैसे gamma rays होता है, gamma rays, then beta rays. So all these are the ionizing radiation. They will do denaturation and they will damage to the DNA of bacteria. They will damage to the enzyme of bacteria and other component of cell. So bacteria will die. Formation of free radical is also possible in case of gamma rays and beta rays are used. Okay, so formation of free radical is also possible. So gamma rays and beta rays are used for radiation sterilization by ionization. Then it is used for thermolabile substances like syringes, plastic, catheters, needles, surgical dressing and blades. The next one is a gaseous sterilization. So as the name indicates, gaseous means you have to use various kind of gases. So ethylene oxide, formaldehyde or beta propanolactone. These are the commonly used gases. All these gases are alkalizing agent. They will cause alkalization of hydroxyl, carboxyl, sulfhydryl groups of bacterial protein. जो भी बैक्टीरिया में प्रोटीन होगा उसमें जो ग्रुप्स है जैसे कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप, हाइड्रोक्सिल, सल्फाइड्रिल ग्रुप, तो उसको अल्कलाइजेशन करेंगे. तो देयर विल बी, तो अल्कलाइजेशन अगर होगा उनका प्रोटीन का तो प्रोटीन विल बी disturbed, protein structure will disturb and bacteria will die. So it is also used for thermolabile substances, plastic, rubber, fumigation operation room, fumigation of operation room, sterilization and fumigation of aseptic. So gaseous sterilization. Next one is the filtration. Next one is the sterilization by filtration. Okay, sterilization by filtration is also known as cold sterilization. याद रखो यहाँ पे cold sterilization किसको बोलते हैं? Sterilization by filtration, ना कि आपके radiation को. Okay, so you have to use bacteria proof filters like candle filter, asbestos filter, citric gas filters, membrane filters. Candle filters दो टाइप के होते हैं, unglazed ceramic filters and diatomaceous earth filters. Then next one is asbestos filters. तो asbestos जो होता है, asbestos के फाइबर जो होते हैं, they are carcinogenic in nature. Then sintered glass filter. So they are prepared by fusing मतलब जोड़ना, fusing of finely powdered glass particles. ये kindly हुआ है यहाँ पे finely है, finely powdered glass particles, they are fused together and center glass filters are prepared. Now next one is the membrane filters. ठीक है, so they are made up of a cellulose. याद रखो membrane filters are made up of a cellulose, इसके ऊपर भी क्वेश्चन आया था. Then add or other polymers. So they are also bacteria proof filters. याद रखो ये bacteria proof filters है, मतलब ये इसमें अगर फिल्ट्रेशन करेंगे तो बैक्टीरिया ऊपर ही बच जाएगा. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट वन इज रेडिएशन स्टरलाइजेशन. ये देखा है आपने, फिर भी देख लेते हैं एक बार. नॉन आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशंस like low energy type UV IR, they will damage the genetic material of bacteria. Okay, in short, ionizing radiation like X-ray, gamma rays and cosmic rays, they have little effect on genetic material, but they will damage the other vital constant of my. Now next one is the chemical sterilization. So you have different chemicals over here. So alcohol, aldehydes, phenols, ethylene oxide gas, halogens, heavy metals and surface active agent or surfactant. Okay. So ethanol and isopropyl alcohol, they are most frequently used as a disinfectant and they act by denaturation of bacterial protein. They have no action on spores. याद रखो alcohol will denaturate the bacterial protein and they will not kill the spores. Next one is aldehydes. Formaldehyde will interact with the amino acid or protein of the microorganism. Mostly it is used to preserve the anatomical specimen. आपने देखा होगा आपके लैब में होगा कुछ, आपने 12th में देखा होगा लीवर किडनी प्रिजर्व करके रखते हैं, उसमें फॉर्मेलिन का सॉल्यूशन होता है, फॉर्मेल्डिहाइड का सॉल्यूशन होता है. सो फॉर्मेल्डिहाइड गैस इज वाइडली यूज्ड फॉर द डिसइंफेक्शन ऑफ ऑपरेशन थिएटर. ऑपरेशन थिएटर जो होता है हॉस्पिटल में, उसको डिसइंफेक्ट करने के लिए फॉर्मेल्डिहाइड, पोटेशियम परमैंगनेट, KMnO4 जो होता है आपका, KMnO4 में फॉर्मेल्डिहाइड डालते हैं और उसके बाद में उसका फ्यूमिगेशन होता है, फ्यूम्स निकलते हैं उसमें जो फॉर्मेलिन के फ्यूम्स होते हैं. So that will cause sterilization of your operation theater. Now next one is ethylene phenol. So lethal effect of lethal effect of phenol is because of capacity to cause membrane damage and releasing the cell. अभी फिनॉल क्या करते हैं, फिनॉल क्या करेंगे, मेम्ब्रेन जो सेल मेम्ब्रेन है बैक्टीरिया का उसको डैमेज करेंगे और बैक्टीरिया मर जाएगा. सो इथिलीन ऑक्साइड का मैकेनिज्म क्या है, इट विल कॉज अल्कलाइजेशन ऑफ अमाइनो कार्बोक्सिल हाइड्रोक्सिल सल्फाइड्रिल ग्रुप्स ऑफ द बैक्टीरियल प्रोटीन. ये देखा था. Now halogens, iodine is strong oxidizing agent. Chlorine is also strong oxidizing agent. It is also used for the disinfection. ये है ना, iodine solution use करते हैं, ठीक है, as an antiseptic disinfectant. And chlorine for disinfection of water. जो water में chlorine का tablet डालते हैं ताकि उसके बैक्टीरिया मर जाए. Next one is the heavy metals. Denaturation of enzymes and other essential proteins of bacteria, they will caused by heavy metals. In surface active agent like cationic and anionic surfactants, they will disturb the enzyme protein and they will denaturate the protein of the microbes. Okay, cationic surfactants like cetrimide, anionic anionic like sodium lauryl sulfate. Next one is methods of sterilization and their validation. It is very important part. Okay, इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आता है मतलब ये स्टरलाइजेशन बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है माइक्रोबायोलॉजी में. स्टरलाइजेशन चैप्टर बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है ये. इट इज अ कॉमन चैप्टर फॉर योर माइक्रोबायोलॉजी एज वेल एज फार्मास्यूटिक्स. ठीक है. सो मेथड्स ऑफ स्टरलाइजेशन एंड देयर वैलिडेशन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू केमिकल एंड बायोलॉजिकल इंडिकेटर. तो यहाँ पे क्या है डिफरेंट मेथड्स ऑफ स्टरलाइजेशन दिया है. ड्राई हीट, moist heat sterilization by radiation, gaseous and sterilization by filtration. देख लेते हैं वन बाय वन. तो ड्राई हीट स्टरलाइजेशन यू हैव टू यूज ड्राई हीट. जैसे हॉट एयर ओवन होता है आपका उसमें ड्राई हीट हो. टेम्परेचर वगैरह कंडीशन आपने देखे हैं. ड्राई हीट ऑफ स्टरलाइजेशन will be validated by three kind of. First one is a physical, so recording of temperature by physical means or temperature chart. It is a physical method for validation for dry heat. Then second one is a chemical method for sterilization of dry heat. Chemical method for validation of sterilization by dry heat. That is a Brown's tube or Brown's tube. ये Brown's tube होता है. It is also a chemical method for validation of dry heat. Green spot observe होता है. Then there is another one Browey-Dick heat sensitive tapes. Browey-Dick heat sensitive tapes are also available for chemical validation of dry heat sterilization. मतलब आपका स्टरलाइजेशन हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है वो कैसे पता चलेगा. तो वैलिडेट तो करना पड़ेगा ना उसको. वैलिडेशन तो वैलिडेशन के लिए ये सब है. फिजिकली आपको टेम्परेचर कर सकते हो. इट इज अ फिजिकल मेथड. ब्राउन ट्यूब और ब्रावी हीट सेंसिटिव टेप्स आर अ केमिकल मेथड. देन बायोलॉजिकल मेथड इज स्पोर्स ऑफ बैसिलस सबटिलिस और क्लोस्ट्रीडियम टिटनी आर यूज्ड एज अ बायोलॉजिकल इंडिकेटर. इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आया था ऑलरेडी. ठीक है. So spores of Bacillus subtilis, Clostridium tetani, they are used for validation. They are used as a biological indicator for validation of dry heat sterilization. Are you getting or not? Are you getting or not? Hello. Next one is a moist heat sterilization. जो moist heat होता है उसके लिए क्या यूज करते हैं कौन सा इंडिकेटर. सो बायोलॉजिकल इंडिकेटर लाइक स्पोर्स ऑफ बैसिलस स्टेरोथर्मोफिलस. बैसिलस स्टेरोथर्मोफिलस. आपको इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ सकता है मैच द फॉलोइंग टाइप का या फिर डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. स्पोर्स ऑफ बैसिलस थर्मोफिलस देन क्लोस्ट्रीडियम स्पोरोजेंस दे आर यूज्ड एज अ बायोलॉजिकल इंडिकेटर फॉर moist heat sterilization. Then again chemical indicator like autoclave tapes are available. Then physical method like thermocouples are also available. Then sterilization by radiation. Chemical dosing metals are available for validating chemically. Chemical method for validation of sterilization by radiation is a ये है. ठीक है. लेकिन आपको सिर्फ इतना बायोलॉजिकल इंडिकेटर्स कौन से. सो इन केस ऑफ बायोलॉजिकल वैलिडेशन बैसिलस प्लूमिल बैसिलस पुमिलस बैसिलस पुमिलस और सेप्रिकस Bacillus pumilus or Bacillus cepricus, they are used as a biological indicator for sterilization by radiation. Next one is a gaseous sterilization. So Rossi sachet chemical validation. इसके लिए chemical validation के लिए क्या है Rossi sachet chemical validation है. और biological validation के लिए क्या है spores of Bacillus subtilis as a biological indicator. Gases. Sterilization by filtration उसके लिए क्या है Pseudomonas diminuta, Pseudomonas diminuta or Serratia merescens. They are used as a biological indicator for sterilization by filtration. Membrane filters are checked by membrane integrity of membrane filters. Integrity of membrane filters are checked by bubble point test, forward flow test. इसके ऊपर भी एक बार क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. Integrity of membrane filters are checked by bubble point test. Again, sterilization technique, biological indicator, chemical indicator. Just we will revise. Moist heat के लिए क्या है biological indicator? Bacillus styrothermophilus और Clostridium perfringens. मतलब ये different books में different दिए और उसके लिए strip paper भी यूज करते हैं chemical indicator. Dry heat में क्या है Bacillus subtilis है. इसके spores यूज करते हैं. ठीक है. और chemical में chemical validation में क्या है chemical indicator में brownish tube और प्रोविडिक हीट सेंसिटिव टिप्स. गैसेस स्टरलाइजेशन के लिए बैसिलस पुमिलस. केमिकल के लिए केमिकल इंडिकेटर क्या है रोसी सैचेट. रेडिएशन और फिल्ट्रेशन स्टरलाइजेशन में क्या है Pseudomonas diminuta, Serratia marcescens, then Saccharomyces cerevisiae. ये जो है वो एज अ बायोलॉजिकल इंडिकेटर यूज, और केमिकल इंडिकेटर क्या है, डोसीमीटर्स। सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट टुडे